Good evening, folks. We are at Boone Woods Park in Burlington, I believe, out near Bellevue, Kentucky. And we're here today. I ran a couple of pans already. I looked down in this area here, right below the water line, and I found a couple of solid specks in just a quick surface pan. There's plenty, the water's high right now. There's plenty of places where the water's slowing down, so that's what I'm kind of studying here. The water is up. You can see that's in another video I've shown you that log up there that actually will cause like a ripple effect. But as you can see, the water comes crashing up into this area and slows down. I found a little piece of gold in there. I looked back up in here. I didn't see as much up in here, so I think that the gold is trying to stay low in the creek. Even though the flood stage, it's coming up over these plants some, as you can see. When this floods, it goes, pretty high up. High water right now, but I think on the front of that gravel bar there, small gravel bar would be a good place. Where the water slows down here, there's a little. But yeah, I walked over here and we've got this area. And you can see that the water comes, it's got several rocks to go over, and I looked there right under the water line and there were more flecks there. So I think we're in business. Ziggy is with me today. We'll say hi, Ziggy. He's the mine boss. I'm just digging where he tells me. We got these guys right here. This is the classifier, the Patriot that I made. We're gonna get it hooked up. I've got a small battery in there. And I've got my pans, and we're going to be working today. We're going to be working 2 bowls that I've made. These were actually, they're cake pans, but what I've done is I have modified them into a blue bowl system. And we're going to hook those directly on the end of the classifier, like so, and they will be processing the gold. I've got these small divots down here in the bottom, and these pipes, and actually what happens is the gold, as it tries to make it up here, winds up in there and goes out into my pan. And I'm going to have a pan underneath this as well to make sure that we're not losing anything. But yeah, so that's kind of our setup today. We're going classifier to blue bowls, and then to a pan, and hopefully the idea is that as we go, as I process material, that it's already finished upon the time that that I process it. I don't have to bring a whole bunch of cons home and that sort of thing. I can get most of my cons taken care of here and process. So that's the idea. Kentucky Gold Hunter. I'm gonna get set up, and I will let you guys know when we get started. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our setup today. Battery staying out of the environment. We don't want to put any battery acids into anything. So then we have 2 pumps in the water going into crash box, whatever you want to call this. We've got our material, comes down, and the bigger stuff just gets spit out here. These are like pebbles, small stones. Let's see if I can get one of these to show you. Nope. Well, anyway, maybe in this pan, yeah, this small stuff here, okay? The chances of finding a gold that is that big here is just minuscule. It's not really going to happen. However, if it does happen, it'll be in that pan, and hopefully it'll stay in that pan. But I don't count on it. What I do count on is flour gold, and our flour gold is coming out of this exhaust here. It's going to be this finest material, and I've got 2 blue bowls set up. These lines, I showed you earlier that there were holes in the bottom of this, and these lines are just to, there's nothing happening here. Okay, this is just to plug that hole so that it'll fill up with black sand, and then it won't be an issue at all. You know, that's for another day, but I have to plug the holes somehow, so that's why we have that in there. So I'm going to start running material, and you guys can watch everything occur. And it wouldn't be Kentucky Gold Hunter if I didn't take off my shoes. We're sophisticated hillbillies out here in Kentucky now. So, I'm gonna let these bowls clean themselves out. I just put a bunch of clay through there, and so the water's all cloudy, and that's not a big deal. But I just ran a little bit, and I want to see how the material's acting in the bottom of this thing here. As you can see, there's no water coming out the end of this. I'm not losing any gold that way. But yeah, so I'm waiting on this now. It's running pretty good. I'll take you over here with me. And while I'm run a little bit, we do want to let that clean out. Wow, look how round that rock is. That's so cool. All right, anyway, it's like a little egg. Looks like an egg. Is that an egg? That looks like an egg. Like a rock egg. I'm taking that with me. That could be like, interesting. Probably just a rock. Usually just a rock. All right. So, we're here. Ziggy told me to dig here, so that's what we're doing. We'll get some of this soil. Looks like pretty good material. You see we got some sand in it. Not a lot of clay in that one. Gonna run it through here. This turns a dark color, and then all the smaller stuff is going through here and up and in. Small granules, so you can't see it as much. So what we're going to do, since we just ran a little bit, is I'm going to do a clean out. What happens is the material in this classifier, the material gets caught inside this barrel here. And what we have to do every now and again to see how much gold we really have is to turn it off, to let it drain, and then to turn it on again. And what we'll see is black going into the tube up there. So let me zoom in on that tube. We're looking for dark material that's stuck in the classifier to go through. See how it turned dark there? That's all of our black sand that's in the bottom. Okay, so it's most of the heavy material staying inside the classifier as we go. So what we have to do every now and again is do this little clean out. Otherwise it will get overloaded. See if we got more. Yep, there's some more. Excellent. Blast it all through there. Starts to look clean. Turn it off again. Do this one more time. So we can get all of our black sand in the bottom of here. It collects a lot of black sand in there. All right. Now we're going to go back to running for a little bit. I'm going to check these bowls and see what the material's doing after the water starts to get a bit less cloudy. And as you can see, we've got them sitting inside pans. So if there's any loss happening, it'll get caught in that pan. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're doing. I'll change it up. Now I've got it going downhill so that it has a bit more flow, because they were not running as fast as I wanted them to clean out. So now that this water level is below this water level, they should be good to go. We're gonna run for a while. You guys can check it out. So the material is like coning up inside of there, and slowly it's panning it up. You can see small bits flowing through. So I think things are going the way we want. Over here, same. You can see the band of black sand down in there, and then slowly spilling over the edge. Hopefully, if there's any fine gold, it winds up staying in the pans. The riffles are pointed toward the creek to maybe help mitigate that. And yeah, we're just, what I've discovered is that I can run here, and then when I'm running here, the black sand and the heavies get trapped in the bottom. But at the same time that I'm trapping stuff here, this material is running. So I can run this material down while I store up more material to run down in here. So that's kind of the game plan right now. That's the way things are working. You know, the material's kind of clouding in there. I don't know how well you can maybe see. Yeah. So that's what we do. We're just waiting on this to slowly clean itself out. See little granules of light material coming through. So here we are. I've got a couple of buckets here. We're gonna have to take some cons home. But as you can see, on the outer ring, you can see it's dark. That's all the black sand. And here, the blonde sand has coned up to the top, meaning that the gold would be at the bottom of all that black sand. Same over here. You can see the black sand around the edge. So it is cleaning itself out rather slowly. I'm running out of daylight here, so we are going to have to get home at some point. I'm just torn right now. I don't know if I just... there's more sand in here, more concentrates inside the classifier, and I need this to get cleaned up so that we can hit the road. I guess what I'll do is I'll start packing stuff back to the car and let this run, and then clean itself out while I'm doing a little cleanup here. Not much to clean up. I'm gonna take the classifier itself up there, some pans, a couple of buckets, shovels. That's it. So we will, we will take a look at this in a minute. I might pan through this real quick just to see if we got any weird big pieces in there. I really doubt it. But the idea is that the water falling will create enough turbulence in there to settle the gold. That's the idea there. That strap back there is for a sluice box, because I could put a sluice box under there if I want to. Doesn't run all that great, but you know, it's something. But anyway, beautiful day here. It's getting a little bit dark. It's cloudy and overcast anyway, but we're gonna have to wrap this up very soon. So like I said, I'm going to leave you here to watch this, and then I will be cleaning up. See if I can get you set up where you can see some of the action here. I've got material in here, I do not know why. This material, this bowl was housing more material. I'm not sure if it's the water flow dynamic or what was going on, but since more material was headed here, I think the gold would be more likely to be in here than in here, but they probably have both. So let's set this up and I can show you kind of a cool way to clean up when you have bowls involved. So I have two buckets, one for our material in our pans and one for our material inside the actual bowls. We're going to carefully unhook this. We don't want to lose any material. We'll let that water come out of there. Shake this a little bit, get any debris off the bottom. Pour water into here. And then, just like a normal pan, splash, splash. You want to get everywhere in this pan. I like to roll the water back through there just to make sure. There's one bowl. Second bowl. Same technique. Well, I see a lot of red in there. There's a lot of garnets in that. I thought I saw a lot of red in there. Back through there. There's both of our bowls. Clean up nice and easy. Get rid of some of this excess water. And that's about what we're coming up with. You can see in there, it's about a half a bucket. And that's a little, like 2-gallon bucket, I believe. 2 or 3. So, got our little spacers. Toss those in. All right, so first of all, take our pan. Wow, that's some fine material. All right, one more. The pans. That's basically it. I guess I can pan through our bigs right now and show you what the material looks like. That's what we're looking at. Got a bunch of bigs. There's some sandy stuff in there too. A lot of the lighter material doesn't get dropped, so it winds up in here as well. This ought to be interesting. It'd be amazing if we could find a nugget in Kentucky. I highly doubt it. Not sure if you can see them. Pretty overcast right now. You can't see them. There's like one, maybe 2 little flecks in there. That's what I'm left with. So that's good. It means we weren't kicking gold out of that part, out of the chute. All right, I'm gonna get cleaned up, get back to the lab, and we're going to go through this. Back in a bit. All right, we are using the spiral wheel. It's a bit dark over here, but we're going to look in this pan and see that there are some gold flakes in this pan. At the top here. And we focus. There you go. So, this system does work. It's not a lot of gold. Focus. Not a lot of gold. And this isn't all of it, but the system does work. That's the point. So I am very, this is just from the testing grounds in Kentucky at Boone Woods Park. I just like to go there and do a little bit, a little work. I know there's gold there. I know it's not really necessarily worth it. However, it's a good place to test. So now I need to take the setup to Indiana. They have bigger and better gold there. All right, Kentucky Gold Prospector here. Had a good day. I'm going to continue to run. What little cons that I have left? You know that we didn't get a whole lot of gold today. That's not the point. The point was testing the equipment. We know that the equipment works. I was only out there for an hour or so running, basically. But what it means is that this equipment works with a 2-bowl system like that. So I can't wait to take this to Indiana, the Guilford Bridge. We made a video about that. But if you enjoy this content, like and subscribe, and definitely share with a friend. The price of gold is outrageous right now, and it's not going to go back down. So, you know, I think that this could turn some people's hobby into a pastime. Have a great day.